Grenada's Prime Minister accuses a U.S. company of trying to interfere with upcoming elections in the Caribbean island. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Monday, February 19. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. Prime Minister Keith Mitchell intends to appeal to the United States government as he claims an American company, WRB, which holds the majority shares in the Grenada Electricity Company Limited, Grenlec, is trying to interfere with the country's electoral process. His accusation has come less than a month before the March 13 general election, and it was leveled after the company announced last week that it had filed a lawsuit against the government, challenging the constitutionality of the newly legislated 5% social refund levied solely on Grenlec. The lawsuit is the latest development in a long-standing battle between the government and Grenlec that began after the enactment of legislation to liberalize the island's electricity sector. Dr. Mitchell told supporters at a party rally on Sunday night that he will write a letter of complaint to the U.S. government about WRB.
I have already signaled to my friends in the American government that I'll be writing them officially about the behavior of WRB attempting to interfere with the electoral process in this country. I say again, sisters and brothers, Grenlec is a profitable company. The attempt at WRB to pretend that they're doing us a favor by the few dollars that are given to projects. This is not their money. This is the people of Grenada's money. And to tell you some of the political actions, they are now telling the organizations that they normally give some of the social monies to, that because of what the government has done, they're not giving them anything at all. I tell them, don't worry. If they turn you down, come to the government. We're going to deal with it, sisters and brothers.
CMC sought to get a response from Grenlec on this latest development, but was told the corporate communications manager was unavailable to take our call at the time. New legislation that has overturned gay marriage rights in Bermuda is set to face its first legal challenge. Rod Ferguson, a gay Bermudan who lives in the United States but hopes to marry in his homeland one day, has filed a lawsuit challenging the Domestic Partnership Act. The suit, filed in Bermuda's Supreme Court, contends that the legislation is unconstitutional. The act, which replaces same-sex marriage with civil unions, was approved by Parliament last December and eventually given royal assent by Governor John Rankin on February 7th. It reversed the Supreme Court ruling delivered last May that enabled gay people to wed on the island. The British Overseas Territory is the first country in the world to ban same-sex marriage after giving it the green light. In St. Kitts and Nevis, a police officer has been charged with manslaughter almost 3 years after his alleged victim was shot dead. Constable Jeffers was arrested and charged on Monday in connection with the death of 17-year-old Philo Wallace. The teenager died after being shot in the chest at close range by the off-duty officer during an altercation at a bar in Nevis capital Charleston on October 17, 2015. He was rushed to the Alexandra Hospital where he died shortly after. Constable Jeffers, meantime, suffered a head injury. In April last year, Director of Public Prosecutions Valston Graham had advised Police High Command that the officer should be charged. The recommendation was made despite the findings of the coroner's inquest in March 2016, where a 5-member jury determined that Wallace's shooting death was a justifiable homicide. There was mayhem in parts of East Port of Spain, Trinidad on Monday morning as some residents staged a protest over what they said was an extrajudicial killing by law enforcement officers. The unrest followed the police shooting of 25-year-old Akil James, alias Christmas, in an area known as Calvary Hill in the wee hours of Monday. Not only were streets blocked, but a number of public health facilities in the area remained closed because of the disturbances. We get more in this C News report.
With a deal with it in tongue. That's how we deal with it. Don't know. Come out. Don't know.
This was the situation earlier today when residents clashed with police following the shooting of an alleged Rasta City gang member identified as Akil James, who is known by the alias Christmas. CNews understands that James, who is a murder suspect, was involved in a shootout with police officers at Calvary Hill, Port of Spain when he was killed, which led to the fiery protest. Residents also blocked the road in the vicinity of Charlotte and Bath streets. In this video, we can see a garbage truck dumping garbage across the roadway for the residents to burn. In this other video, the residents are starting to ignite the pile of garbage, but runs away when the police intervenes. Following the protest, it resulted in traffic congestion in certain parts of Port of Spain, specifically Upper Charlotte Street to Park Street and behind the bridge to Observatory Streets. The tributaries to Charlotte Street, that is Oxford Street and Quarry Street and Lady Young Road. However, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has since tweeted that there is a free flow of traffic and that the police remain in command of the situation.
Still in Trinidad and Tobago, a new insurance act that seeks to significantly strengthen the regulatory and monitoring powers of the central bank has been passed unanimously in the House of Representatives. The 2016 Insurance Act was taken to the House last Friday for amendment. Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Stuart Young, explained that the previous bill allowed for abuse and mismanagement by some within the sector. Under the new act, the central bank can intervene in an instance where an insurance company is acting outside of the interest of policyholders, or if the company is found to be using policyholders' funds for unauthorized purposes.
A director of an insurance company must act honestly and in good faith with a view to the best interests of an insurer or financial holding company. A director or officer thereof shall take into account the interests of the insurer's policyholders. So, Madam Speaker, what we're seeing here now being put expressly into the statute is protection for policyholders.
Finance Minister Com Imbert tweeted following the passage of the act saying, and I quote, "A new era of regulation of insurance companies and protection of consumers is about to begin." End of quote. The bill must now be debated in the Senate. Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, the rush is on to rebuild houses in Barbuda ahead of the next hurricane season. Stay with us. There's more news after the break.
Come and experience fun, meet amazing people, and enjoy fantastic food at the 22nd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival. 5 days of festivities from June 27th to July 1st of 2018, with main stage performances from the 28th to the 30th. Here's the first wave of confirmed acts. The legendary Patti LaBelle, Queen of Dancehall, Spice, Miss Lauryn Hill. Many more acts to be announced. Book now and save the date. For more information, log on to StKittsMusicFestival.net. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other.
Come, sail with us through our ocean blues, where there's a blessed land that's waiting for you. Look, listen, feel. Realize your dream escape that's magically surreal. The best kept secret, a place you'll never forget, where adventure beckons with every gentle footstep. From lush mountain green to warm volcanic sand, submerged in splendor, our 32 enchanting islands. A kaleidoscope of experiences. No need to look anymore. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Caribbean you're looking for.
So that was the black pepper. Now she's gonna add the 1 tablespoon of green seasoning.
The rush is on to rebuild as many homes as possible in Barbuda before the next hurricane season starts in June. Antigua's sister isle was decimated last September when Category 5 Hurricane Irma tore through the region, leaving death and destruction in its wake. Residents had to be evacuated to Antigua for approximately 3 months. Members of the Regional Security Services from Barbados and Jamaica are part of a contingent on the island helping with the rebuilding efforts. The team, comprised of masons and carpenters, arrived on the island on Sunday and will be deployed there for 1 month in the first instance. We get more in this report from Jamie Roger of ABS News.
The team is made up of carpenters, engineers, masons and other skilled builders, and is a demonstration of the close collaboration among military forces within the RSS and CARICOM. Barbuda Affairs Minister, the Honorable Arthur Nibbs, is anticipating that the extra hands will help to energize the rebuilding efforts.
The Barbudans are getting antsy. There are a great number of level 1s and level 2 homes, which were not extremely damaged, really, that can get back in a fast time. But the problem we were facing is having enough workforce underground. You may have laborers, but not enough technicians like the carpenters and the masons. So right now I feel great to see right at the back of me now a contingent of 28.
10 local soldiers have also been deployed to assist in the effort in Barbuda, which is being coordinated by Major Orlando Michael of the Antigua and Barbuda Defense Force. He welcomed the regional soldiers to the team.
They will now come and focus primarily on level 1 and 2s to push because their time is limited. So we try to get them on the smaller ones. We are pushing, we are hoping that we can try and get, if not all, the majority of level 1 and 2s, 1, 2s and 3s completed by at least May. Because we want to be finished before the hurricane season. So it's a big push to try and get the completion of these structures. So we're trying to see all the resources available that we can get to get that done.
Major Michael says the soldiers will supplement the work being done by civilian contractors in Barbuda.
Interacting with the people of the country, what happens is that you get to mingle and hear a lot of different stories and how it actually affected them. And I mean, it really takes a toll on you sometimes. So you have to be mentally strong and also physically strong.
Head of the Barbados contingent, Sergeant Dixon, is a skilled mason. The military personnel will spend a month in Barbuda with the option of extending the time if needs be.
The government of Jamaica is seeking to bolster its institutional capacity to aggressively investigate and swiftly prosecute people convicted of human trafficking. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice Carol Palmer said human trafficking must be vigorously pursued and eliminated. She made the comments as she addressed the opening of a 3-day prosecutors human trafficking training seminar. Palmer pointed out that the amendments to the Trafficking in Persons Act now before Parliament will ensure that there is stronger enforcement of the law to deter persons from engaging in the crime. She added that prosecutors must also be trained in victim identification and protection and must work with investigators to protect victims and their families from intimidation from traffickers. She warned young people to be careful with the amount and type of information they post on social media about themselves and their whereabouts, because traffickers, she says, are actively looking out for any opening possible. The Jamaica Federation of Corrections is weighing in on the discovery of 2 large holes in the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center in Kingston, which authorities believe were part of an escape plot by prisoners. Chairman of the Federation, Arlington Turner, said the incident highlights the need for a new prison. We get the details in this TVJ News report.
This is the escape tunnel discovered at the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center in Kingston on Friday. Our sources say one of the holes, which is about 4 feet deep, was dug near the base of the perimeter wall. Another hole is about 2 feet deep and appears to be the route used by the perpetrators to access the first hole. Officials say all inmates have been accounted for, and the Department of Correctional Services, DCS, has launched an investigation into the matter. DCS is also getting help from the Jamaica Defense Force and the police. For chairman of the Jamaica Federation of Corrections, Arlington Turner, the incident highlights the need for a new prison to be built.
But the fact of the matter is, these prisons, Tower Street Adult Correctional Center and the St. Catherine District prisons, cannot be repaired anymore. And the inmates that we have in our care, I can tell you, their take is to get out. As the custodians on the ground, we are to ensure that they remain. But this is showing us that they are trying in every way possible to find their way out of these institutions. With a maximum security prison, a state-of-the-art maximum security prison, I can tell you this could not have happened. This only can happen in an institution that is outdated, and we need new facilities.
In the meantime, State Minister in the Ministry of National Security, Pernell Charles Jr., says the government will not be ruling out overseas assistance in probing the incident.
As it regards to the need for external or other help, that's something which the members of the JDF, JSF, and DCS who are leading the operations would have to decide. So I leave that to the operational heads. What I do know is that if it is that we need any assistance, we have such strong partnerships with our international stakeholders that I don't see that being a difficulty.
Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Correctional Services, Joyce Stone, has commended the staff of the DCF for discovering the tunnels, pointing out that there are lessons to be learned.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, Kent Spitfires claim the last semi-final spot in the Regional Super 50. Stay with us. Sport is next.
Come, sail with us through our ocean blues, where there's a blessed land that's waiting for you. Shh, look, listen, feel. Realize your dream escape that's magically surreal. The best kept secret, a place you'll never forget, where adventure beckons with every gentle footstep. From lush mountain green to warm volcanic sand, submerged in splendor, our 32 enchanting islands. A kaleidoscope of experiences. No need to look anymore. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Caribbean you're looking for.
Come and experience fun, meet amazing people, and enjoy fantastic food at the 22nd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival. 5 days of festivities from June 27th to July 1st of 2018, with main stage performances from the 28th to the 30th. Here's the first wave of confirmed acts. The legendary Patti LaBelle, Queen of Dancehall, Spice, Miss Lauryn Hill. Many more acts to be announced. Book now and save the date. For more information, log on to StKittsMusicFestival.net. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other.
Kent Spitfires claimed a 23-run victory under the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method over Leeward Islands Hurricanes to clinch the last semi-final spot in the Regional Super 50 on Sunday. Choosing to bat first in the final Group B match at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, Spitfires defied Orlando Peters' career-best 5-4-49 in 10 overs to post 266 for 9 from the allocation of 50 overs. Sean Dixon hit the top score of 72. Daniel Bell Drummond supported with 66. Zach Crawley made 43, Alex Blake got 31, and skipper Will Gidman was not out on 27, as consistent batting right down the order helped the visitors mount a competitive challenge. In reply, Kesey Carty led the way with 69, and Monsine Hodge cracked 62 to give the Hurricanes a great launching pad of 122 for the first wicket. But off-spinner Alex Riley with a career-best 4-for-40 in his 10-over spell stopped the Hurricanes. The result earned Kent 4 points, which placed them second in the group, 1 behind group winners Guyana Jaguars and 1 ahead of last year's beaten finalists Jamaica Scorpions to complete the lineup of teams for the final 4. In the semi-finals, reigning champion Barbados Pride will face the Spitfires on Wednesday at the same venue. Jaguars met Windward Islands Volcanoes the following day at the same venue to determine the 2 teams that will advance to the final on Saturday. Officials of the Guyana Cricket Board have officially announced the country as host of the ICC Women's T20 tournament scheduled to begin in November. Eson Griffith of Capital News witnessed the launch over the weekend.
ceremony at Umaniana this afternoon, the official declaration of Ghana as host country for the 2018 ICC Women's T20 World Cup was unveiled by Cricket West Indies, the government of Ghana, and the local organizing committee. The ceremony saw the symbolic presentation of the trophy to signify Ghana's commitment to host their leg of the event. The ICC tournament director Jennifer Nero started the ball rolling.
Our vision is to bring the unique Caribbean color, entertainment, and flamboyance to women's cricket by successfully hosting the first standalone women's T20, World T20. As the defending women's WT20 champions, we aim to use the tournament as a springboard to attract more children and women to the game and maintain the positive global momentum around women's cricket. Cricket West Indies will use this event to help achieve a number of objectives articulated in its 2018-2022 strategic plan. These are listed as follows. Number 1, to promote gender equality in the region through cricket. 2, to grow participation in women's and girls' cricket in the West Indies. 3, to discover new champions for women's cricket. 4, to establish cricket as a genuine career path for young girls. 5, to provide a legacy for women and girls cricket throughout the region. And 6, to engage with these fans.
Guyana, St. Lucia, Antigua and Barbuda won the bid for the 3-week tournament set for November 3rd to the 25th of next year. And we'll see Guyana hosting the warm-up and first-round matches at Providence.
Staying with cricket, West Indies received a rousing welcome at the Robert Mugabe International Airport on Sunday evening as they became the first team to arrive for the ICC World Cup qualifiers starting next month. The Caribbean side is one of 10 teams down to do battle in the March 4th to 25th tournament as they vie for the remaining 2 spots at the showpiece in England next year. They opened their campaign on March 6th against United Arab Emirates, who won the ICC World Cricket League Division 2 last week to book their spot in the qualifiers. They, along with Ireland, Netherlands and Papua New Guinea, comprise Group A, while Afghanistan, Zimbabwe, Scotland, Hong Kong and Nepal form Group B. The top 3 from each group will advance to the Super Sixes, where they will each play 3 matches against teams they did not meet in the preliminaries. The finalists will secure the final 2 berths at the ICC World Cup from May 30th to July 15th next year. Over to the Cayman Islands, where the Volleyball Association is worried that its marquee event, the North Sea Volleyball Confederation's competition, may not come off as planned. They're citing lack of funding. With the tour set for April, Cayman's Volleyball Federation President Kennedy McGowan says there's no money to prepare for the event and government is ignoring calls for support. Cayman 27's Jordan Aminis tells us more.
Still hope for us to host the tournament this year. I mean, we've already missed some critical deadlines in order for us to host the event in April. So April definitely won't happen. We're looking forward, as I say, for the fall to see if that is possible. But a lot of this is going to depend on the funding.
Volleyball Federation President Kennedy McGowan on why the association's biggest yearly attraction, NORCECA, might get bumped.
Takes a huge amount of resources in order for us to run this event this year, and resources that we normally allocate to our development program have for many years been redirected to fund this event.
Now they're looking for government's help. There's just one problem.
A lot of the times, I mean, we've had some communication with the government, and one of the other frustrating things is that we have a lack of response. You know, we've sent out emails to them and we just don't get a response on it. So that in itself is very frustrating.
Government did give the Federation $25,000 this year, but Mr. McGowan says that's just not enough, especially for a tournament that has set the bar pretty high in the past.
We have been recognized by the Control Committee for NORCECA that the event is one of the most popular events that we have on the NORCECA tour, and would also qualify to increase to another level to the FIVB 5-star events. So it has been recognized as a high quality, and we would like to promote it even further.
But in order to capitalize on the success the tournament brings, McGowan says government needs to see what many others have already realized.
There's a lot of opportunity here, for a sport to grow and get even bigger than it is now. But we definitely need, the government to come forward and to play their part.
Leaving a hole in Cayman's sports calendar. Game, set, and match.
And over to action in the Pan Badminton Championship. Host Trinidad and Tobago suffered heavy defeats in the tournament that ended over the weekend, with the Canadians taking the gold. TNT's men and women lost against the Dominican Republic and the United States in straight sets. TV6's Terence Clark reports.
It was another rough day on the court for TNT as the men went into battle against the Dominican Republic. Naeem Mohammed facing off against Remy Cabreras in the singles, and he would grab the first set 21-14. But his opponent would take charge to capture the next two, 21-18, 21-12. TNT's Ronaldo Sinanan went up against Terry Aquino in the other singles matchup and went down in straight sets 21-19, 21-12. The local men would fall in all 5 of their matchups to the Dominican Republic to finish bottom of Group B and 7th overall. Our women also had a rough go against eventual Group A winners, the United States. Nikisha Blake went down in 2 sets to Jamie Sue. TNT's Avril Marcel would also fall in straight sets in the second singles matchup against Lauren Lam, 21-6, 21-5. And Latoya Waldron suffered a similar fate, losing 21-11, 21-6 to Natalie Chi. The women also dropped both doubles matches to lose the rubber 5-0 and finish 5th overall.
And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Again, the major developments of this day. Grenada's Prime Minister accuses the U.S. company with majority shares in the island's electricity company of trying to interfere with upcoming elections. And in sport, Kent Spitfires clinched the last semi-final spot in the regional Super 50 after beating Leeward Islands Hurricanes. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, log on to KanaNews.com. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and do have yourselves a good night.